The time is at hand.
From Williamson, West Virginia, the gateway to the crackheads, this is In Dark Places. Today I've got a little touchy subject for some people. People get extremely militant about skinwalkers. They have to say that's not a skinwalker, that's a shapeshifter, or that's a woolly monger. Call them what you want to. The people that experience these things classify them as a skinwalker. So I'm doing skinwalker stories today. My sister-in-law always has weird stuff happening at her farm. There's been a lot of death there in the past. One night she was watching TV in the living room and she seen something walk by her window. Now the bottom of the window is 6 feet off the ground and the chest of this creature was near the top of this big window, so it had to be close to 9 feet. The next day she went out there to see if there was anything, and there was a bunch of broken branches where she'd seen it walk. She described it as very tall and white with a weird walk to it. She said it looked like a creature she'd seen before at the beach that walked out of the bush, walked like it was possessed. She's met us and lives by a few reserves. The lake she's seen it at was also on native land in a small town 10 minutes from her house. There was a doctor from back in the early 1900s that went mad and killed and ate his wife and kids and some of his patients. People say he turned into a wendigo. I've always been a skeptic. Ghosts, aliens, monsters, they were all just stories to me. But after what I experienced in the Southwest, my perspective on the unknown has been forever altered. I was on a road trip with my best friend Jake. We had decided to take a detour through the Navajo Reservation in Arizona, mainly because of the scenic beauty and the rich history of the area. We had heard tales of skinwalkers, but we laughed them off. They were just myths, right? Our first day on the reservation was uneventful. We visited a few local spots, interacted with some of the locals, and set up camp near a canyon. As night fell, we sat around our campfire, sharing stories and enjoying the serenity of the desert. After midnight, Jake decided to turn in. I stayed up, mesmerized by the stars. The Milky Way stretched across the sky, and I felt a profound sense of peace. That is, until I heard it. A low, guttural growl echoed through the canyon. I froze, thinking it might be a coyote or a mountain lion. But then I heard a voice. It was distorted, as if someone was speaking through a broken radio. But it was unmistakably Jake's voice. Come here, it beckoned. Confused, I turned to our tent. Jake was sound asleep. The voice called out again, this time from the opposite direction. I grabbed a flashlight and shone it toward the source. What I saw will haunt me forever. Standing on a ridge was a figure. It looked like a man, but his limbs were elongated, and his eyes glowed sickly yellow. It wore tattered clothing, and his skin was a mottled gray. But the most disturbing part was its face. It was Jake's face. I stumbled back, my heart racing. The creature mimicked Jake's voice again. Come here. It took a step toward me, its movements jerky and unnatural. I bolted to the tent, shaking Jake awake. We need to go now, I hissed. He looked at me, confused, but the urgency in my voice spurred him into action. We packed up as quickly as we could, the creature's voice echoing around us, mimicking our voices, our laughter, our conversations from earlier. As we sped away in our car, I glanced in the rearview mirror. The creature stood in the middle of the road, watching us, its yellow eyes glowing in the darkness. We didn't stop driving until we reached the nearest town. We checked into a motel and spent the night researching skinwalkers. The legends said they were witches who could take the form of animals or people, using their voices to lure victims. I don't know what we encountered that night, but one thing I do know, the stories are real. The Southwest is beautiful. It holds secrets that are beyond comprehension, and I'll never set foot on the Navajo Reservation again. To all you reading this, please be careful when you venture into unknown territories. Some legends are rooted in truth, And some nightmares are very, very real. Here in Mexico, we have our own thing, the Hollies. Both my dad and my aunt claim that they had run-ins with one when they were little. One who stalked them for several months after my grandma died. She died when they were both 7 and 12 years old. They were really poor and lived pretty much in a cabin in the middle of nowhere with my grandpa. They would hear scratches on the roof. My grandpa was sick all the time, and a shaman supposedly caught it. My uncle claims his dad used to hunt those things, and remembers how once his dad caught a dog who was a Nahali, and he tied it up and tortured it for a while until it started talking like a human, begging his dad to let him go. Heavy stuff. Really haven't run into anything of that sort myself, but I always love hearing these types of stories. Me too. They're creepy. And thanks for listening. I'll have more for you in a couple days. God bless.